Peace and love, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, July 14th. That's real crazy. I was about to say it was March. Where am I? Exactly. So that's how life has been feeling. And today we are experiencing a new moon in Cancer. Um, this moon is heightened and exalted because the moon is in its home sign. So the sun and the moon are in Cancer today. So it's extra sensitive energy. There's heightened emotions. There's the need to cry. There's the need to make space. There's the need to feel um, like you just want to be home. You want a home cooked meal. You might want extra hugs, extra love today. Um, just the things that make you feel good and make you feel like safe and nurtured is what we're craving for today. At least me, but that's because my Venus is in Cancer. So I'm extra sensitive. I've cried every single day in the past 3 days. So, and it's, it's a great time. Like, it's a great time to cry in the middle of the aisle at Kroger, you know? Because, like, grief. Uh, Grief is so magical in that way. um, so yeah, that has been life. We also are still experiencing Mercury retrograde. There have been a couple of shifts in some other planets that I don't have enough like info and notes on, so we won't even talk about that today. But I just know that communication seems a little like, for me it's been off. I'm thinking that I'm talking to people and I have not responded. So if you reached out to me and I didn't respond, I responded. I just never sent you the response. So I'm working on that. And yeah, I'm playing catch up in those spaces. But as far as everything else, I think energetically, it's a beautiful time to shift and to recognize and notice that we're in the midst of the shift. Maybe not everyone. Not everyone actually attunes to their own inner shift. But this one feels internal. This one feels like I need space from everyone. It feels like something that we have to process and accept on our own and in our own terms. Um, so yeah, all of these things matter. All of these things are creating these other things, which are creating these other things, which are creating these other things. And so all these things matter. And with that, the energy can feel heavy and confusion, confusing. Um, Cancer season is like the ocean in the sense of the ebbs and the flows. So the emotions coming and then going, the feelings being this way and then shifting to be that way, just very in flow and with flow. Having a conversation today about a phrase that I've read where it says the only thing that goes in the flow, that the only thing that goes with the flow is a dead fish. And so instead of going, just allowing the flow to take you, allow yourself to be in the flow, allow yourself to be in communication with the flow, allow yourself to accept that this is the way that we are flowing now versus just like going with it. They're also like, with the go needs to be acceptance, with the go needs to be awareness, with the go needs to be safety, so it's like you're not just being taken, you're not just being tossed. It's like you're in it, you're active in this flow that you don't have control over, but how you choose to respond to the spaces that you have no control is how you control yourself in these spaces that you have no control over. So yeah, that's how this Cancer new moon is feeling for me. Um, it's also feeling like solitude, but I've been feeling solitude for the past since like Gemini season. Um, and but it's a recall home. Um, and so returning to yourself, into your sacred self, your most divine self, your highest self. Um, returning to the qualities that you may have you may have been avoiding to embrace because they come with certain responsibilities. I was talking recently about how I avoid the work that I'm supposed to do because doing the work makes me realize I'm now responsible, and I don't want to have responsibilities. Um, and not that I don't want to have responsibilities, I'm just tired. You know, when you live a life when you had a lot of responsibilities since you were like pretty much born, it gets exhausting. And then especially when you figure out your purpose is to then be responsible for these people, places, and spaces, and things that then like rely on you to be responsible. And so it's a lot of giving, and so it's a beautiful time to return home and to fill yourself up, whether that be with rest, with water, with creating space within your things. Like I had to repot a couple of my plants, and it was interesting because I just repotted them not that long ago. But I noticed that a couple of them, the sizing of the pots weren't right, and like I needed some pots where I can water them from the roots up, and some of them didn't have that. So I was noticing that some of my plants were growing, and the environment that I placed them in, the new environment that I had placed them in, has been conducive for their growth. Whereas the other ones, they've just been stagnant. Like, it's not that they're dying, they're just not growing. And so I had to shift them, and I had to, okay, let me change your environment. Like, maybe it's the space, right? You don't have enough space, maybe you have too much space. Like, maybe you need to refine that. And so, yeah, I would say it's that time. It's that time to refine your space, refine the space that you call home, the space that you create in, the space that you feel safest in, the space that you nurture yourself in. How can you refine that where it serves you best? Maybe that means you clean, or you be organized. Maybe you change your furniture around. It's a beautiful time to do all those things, but to recognize that you need to do that. This may not be the time that you are actively doing the things because it's a new moon. And I was just listening to another moon podcast that I listened to, and shout out to Channy, but I was listening to that, and she was like, "This is a great time for stillness. Do nothing." It's a beautiful time to be still and to be quiet and to not be as active. And so be in a space of recognizing, be in a space of like your mental is active, maybe more than your physical body. You're starting to notice certain things that you're supposed to be doing, or should be shifting, and maybe you make a list and you tackle them throughout up until like the full moon or something. But do the things in which it best serves you, where you're not depleting yourself. This is not the time to be depleted. This is not the time. The energy is just too strong, and it only gets stronger. It doesn't calm down for real again until like Libra season. Um, because we come back to restoring balance. But like Cancer, we're getting deeper into the season. We're getting deeper into our emotions. We're getting deeper into our feelings. We're getting deeper into the spaces that we want to nurture us and feed us, and the spaces that we want to pour into, the love that we want to give. All that stuff doesn't come until we decide to connect to our own inner compass and home base and heart space. Um, the heart has been important. I was trying to find the word. I'm sorry. um, Yeah, significant is the word, the heart space. And during this time, especially just with being in Cancer season and wanting to return back to your inner sanctuary, that crab, that shell, and it's like, what does that look like? And talking with a beautiful friend today, and we were just discussing like how much love we don't give ourselves, that to the point that now loving yourself feels foreign and crazy, and it feels like a wild existence, and we have to be vocal about it. So like you have to move from your heart space, but your throat must be open to be able to vocalize and communicate that. And I think it's happening at a time where it's so important, because but it needs to happen while we're doing this inner work for loving ourselves, because we realize we haven't been loving ourselves as deeply as we could have been, because of the fear of speaking up, the fear of saying the things, the fear of shifting the energy in the room and in the space, by saying how we really feel. So, yeah, spend some time to love on yourself today. So whether that means you take an intentional shower, or like you create a nice bath for yourself, a nice soak, um, listening to this meditation. But like for real, that's a moment of love and gratitude. And I hope this feels like a hug. Like place your head on my bosom. I hope that this is what this feels like, because that's the energy that I'm calling in for myself. So if you would like to join me, I'm going to get into some sounds, because those are all the words that I have. Stay safe, stay emotional, stay crying, stay tapped in, stay honoring yourself, stay dangerous. So duality. Feel me? Um, so yeah, if you would like to join me in this meditation, that is all the words that I have. If I have more words, I'll come back in a whole separate other video. But as far as this is concerned, I don't think I need to say anything else. Um, did I have to do that now? No. Did I have to do that now? Yes. So, um, while you're getting yourself situated, you can find yourself in a comfortable position or seated space, whether you're lying down or sitting up. Allow yourself to just be there, and we'll get started with 3 deep inhales. You can take a deep breath in, and as you exhale and release anything you may be carrying from this day, from your weekend, even the start of these 2 days of this week. You can let it all go as you exhale. You can take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, maybe you close your eyes, you lower your gaze, you allow yourself to just be with yourself in your body. And then you can take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. You drop your shoulders from your ears. Breathe it on out. And wherever you are, you begin to return back to your mind, back to your body, back to yourself. Maybe you begin to wiggle your toes, just tap your fingers, whatever feels good. And when you come and you're ready, you're back. We'll close the same way that we opened with 3 deep breaths. Only when you're ready. You can take a deep breath in, you can start to sweep your arms above your head. And as you exhale, you can flick your fingers like you're trying to get water off your fingertips. A deep breath in, hands go up. And exhale, shake out your hands and your wrists and your shoulders. In your arms and your body. Take a deep breath in. Hands come up. As you exhale, you bring your hands together. You can hold them in prayer. You can bring them down into your heart space. You can bow into yourself. Keep your eyes closed. If they're not closed, you can close them down. Give yourself a moment of gratitude for showing up for yourself, for honoring your time in this moment. Thank your mind for not getting in the way of your moment. And as always, I thank you for joining me and the words. I thank you for joining me and being here and allowing me to guide you through words and sound and time. Time is expensive. Time is something we can't put a price on. Time is something we also don't get back. So I appreciate you spending your time here with me and all my sounds and all the things. May this moon be glorious and allow you to realign with your own inner rivers and streams, and so that you can be one with your own flow. I'm grateful and honored to be here. I appreciate you. May you go in peace. Namaste. And snap it up for yourselves. And that is all I have for y'all today. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. Thank you for supporting me by showing up for yourself. So until next time, go in peace.